This is a record of the U.S. Ralphie trip to Copenhagen, Denmark to attend the first ever Ralphie Family Day on August 7th, 1999. Hello to all the Ralphie family relatives in the United States and Denmark. We are the U.S. Ralphie participants who are en route to Denmark to take part in a historic occasion, the Ralphie Family Day on August 7th, 1999. We are the 19 Ralphie relatives coming from the U.S. to explore our Danish-American heritage. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on our past. Grandfather Dortinus Ralphie was the fourth child of 7 children born to Christian Peter Ralphie of Aalborg, Denmark, and Jacobin Osted of North Sundby, Denmark. He was born in 1863 in Aalborg in Jutland. In 1886, he married Johanna Henriette Knudsen of Fadslet, Denmark, and she was born in Langland. During their young adult years, they both worked on dairy farms. Dortinus as farm manager and Johanna as a butter maid. 5 children were born to this couple: Walter, Valdemar, Anton, Thorvald, Oscar, Viggo, Christian Emil, and Knut. History shows that times were very hard in Denmark then. So in 1892, Dortinus and his family sailed for the United States of America. Arriving in the United States, they settled in the state of Iowa on a farm. Then in 1910, they moved to Redwood Falls, Minnesota, and homesteaded the family farm. The original house they built still stands. The Dortinus Ralphie family is now established in the United States of America and now consists of 5 sons, 16 grandchildren, 46 great-grandchildren, and 82 great-great-grandchildren, and the family is still growing. We have since learned Dortinus had one daughter, Anna Marie, born in Denmark before he came to the United States. The idea for this first ever reunion started when Roger Ralphie retired from his 35-year career with the Northwest Airlines and studied the genealogy of our family. This historic trip is the result. And so what follows in this is a brief record of our experiences in Denmark, where we attended the first ever Ralphie Family Day on August 7th, 1999. This is our first day in Copenhagen, Denmark. We were treated to a bus tour of the city. You all must come to Copenhagen to appreciate the architectural beauty, the culture, the sense of history, and the beautiful people who live in Denmark. Here are just a few of the sights at Amaliaborg: the changing of the guard, the statue of King Frederick V, the circle of buildings that house the royal family, including Queen Marguerite, the fountain, and the mermaid by the sea. There is much more to see.
Mouse. Afløsning. Hold. Very big. Afløsning. Mouse.
Loro avevano preso. Andiamo, sì. No,
This is Eddie and her husband from Denmark, and they are the hosts that worked with Roger to arrange this First Family Day. And so we're really pleased to meet them. We are just now meeting them here.
I had a letter from Anna Marie, Anna Marie's daughter,
Yeah,
and she's had pictures and everything. They're going to be there tomorrow.
yeah, it will be
Yeah.
there, yes. It is the nearest one, your family.
Right.
Because he's a daughter of your grandfather.
Yeah, Anna Marie was the daughter
Yeah,
of our grandfather.
Yeah. Så er der fiksforældre, the mother and the child.
You're right. The mother, well, she has a picture of Anna Marie. I can go up to the room and get it and show it to you. And her daughter, and
Mother
then
will be here. And they have a gold wedding
oh really?
tomorrow.
Well, we have somebody with us that has their 37th wedding.
Two.
Road tour.
Yes.
Road tour.
Nearly perfect.
Road tour. That's another year.
This is,
Road tour.
and what is your first name?
Pipen.
Heighton?
Pipen.
Pipen?
Yes.
Roter?
Yes.
And my name is Roger.
We know.
We know. He just met me and already he knows.
Talk to them.
Well, we've talked on the phone many times. I mean, I'm so pleased this is happening.
Yeah. You say good
Thanks
phone.
to you.
No, you phoned us in the first time. You called
The
us
first
first.
time.
Yes, you called us first.
But then you really carried it through. We've got 100 people coming tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't that unreal?
That's unreal.
109, she
Yeah,
said.
109.
And you are going to be the blue family.
We're going to be the Blue family?
Yeah.
that the Outlaws?
No.
Well, she hasn't met Don yet.
We'll leave him up in the room.
We have another brother that
We have only good guys in our family.
All is coming from Latinos. It's blue.
okay.
And Preben's granddad, Nils Andreas.
Oh, okay.
We are pink.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we are going to have a green family and
blå, pink, grøn, og rød.
Violet.
Violet, yes.
And then we're going to put in the table. We're going to put a blue and a pink and a green together, so you can speak when people. As we're not going to sit all together.
Oh, no,
No.
we don't want to
You
do
sit in
that.
your own groups then.
Yeah, in
No,
groups,
no.
and we want to mix the family.
We wanna mix it,
yeah.
yeah.
As a husband and wife with the same table.
Okay,
Yeah, and then another husband and wife, blue and green.
okay.
And we're going to
Should I remind her I don't have a wife?
move us.
On this day, we gathered in the Scandic Hotel in Copenhagen for breakfast, and then left by train for the family visit to Langland. Let us meet each of the U.S. Ralphie participants who were on this trip. It was fun to get better acquainted with our travel relatives from the United States. Hotel, very nice place to stay. Our entire group is staying here, and we're enjoying breakfast this morning. Now I'd like to have you meet the members of the Ralphie delegation that flew over from the United States to take part in this family day. Now I'd like to introduce you to Glenn Ralphie. And Glenn, tell me, what's your relationship to the Ralphies?
Well, my granddad came from Copenhagen, and so we have a lot of offspring from him that we are trying, and then he left a family of 5 brothers over here, and we're going to try to get together with some of those.
And which one was your father?
Chris.
Okay.
Christian Emil Frederick, named after the kings of Denmark.
Okay, now tell me about your wife Lois here. Who's she?
We knew ourselves, I knew her from childhood and up. We were together quite a bit, and finally got married. She was 1 year behind me in school. So.
Good. Now I want you to introduce me to your family.
My daughter Carol.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
Okay.
And Carol's daughter and my granddaughter Kelly.
Okay. How about it, girls? What do you like about this trip to Copenhagen?
Apple juice.
Yeah, the apple. It's just fun to experience the new culture.
Okay. How about you, Nikki? Have you found any friends yet?
Not yet.
You looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. How about you, Cheryl? Why are you here?
I'm enjoying finding out about the history of the Ralphie family. Today we're going to the homestead of my great-grandmother, so that's going to be pretty impressive.
And you're a great-granddaughter of Dortinas?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've just done so many different things and experienced so many things here. It's just been really a great experience.
We're going to capture a few of those experiences on this film and show it to our friends back in the United States. So it's nice to see all of you this morning. Now I want to introduce you to Dick Ralphie of Redwood Falls, Minnesota. And I'm going to sit down and visit here a minute. Dick, tell me, how are you connected in the Ralphie family?
Well, my father was Knut. He has passed away. My grandfather was Chris, and he was born in the USA, and I have fond memories of both him and Uncle Oscar. Uncle Oscar was born here in Denmark, and today we happen to be traveling to visit his birthplace.
So that makes you a great-grandson of Dorkinus, huh?
That's correct.
Okay, and you have the unusual privilege of living on the original farm that was homesteaded by your grandfather, great-grandfather Dorkinus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they came up from Iowa sometime around the turn of the century, I believe. And they settled on a place where I currently live and rented this property from C.O. Gilfillan. Now, they ran about 900 acres, as the legend goes, and utilized 40 to 50 head of horses, mainly harvesting grain and hay. And I can remember my grandfather and uncle conversing about how they broke the virgin sod with long moldboard type plows and large rakes to break up the sod. And they talked about quite a few swamp areas where I could see today where we've tiled it all and made it all usable farmland.
You've got lots to talk about with folks here in Copenhagen tomorrow. Are you looking forward to that family day?
Well, I think it's terrific. We visited with some people yesterday and they said there's going to be in excess of 80 people, relatives on the Ralphie side.
Nice to visit with you this morning. We'll see you more on the train trip we're going to take this morning.
Looking forward to it.
Now I want to introduce you to some of Anton Ralphie descendants. And we're going to talk to some of them. First of all, I want to introduce you to Gary Thurno. Gary, you're related to the Anton Ralphie family, and tell me how you fit into that family.
Anton would have been my grandfather, my mom's father.
And your mother's name is?
Lois.
Lois. And how many children were there in Anton's family?
Anton's family would have been Lois, Rosemary, Jean, Tony, and Bob.
Okay, and you're a lifelong resident of Owatonna, Minnesota?
That's right, yep.
And what do you do there?
Well, I farmed in there with Tony, my uncle, for 16 years, and now I work for a company called the Turkey Store Company, processing turkey products, raising turkeys.
And you have your family along with you at Copenhagen here, and why don't you introduce your family?
All right, this is daughter Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Daughter Krista, and her husband Kevin.
Hi. Good to see you. Now, Sarah, I understand that you're living in Owatonna at the present time. What do you do there?
Rochester.
Rochester, okay.
Yep.
What do you do there?
Dental hygienist.
Okay, and you haven't lived there very long, have you?
About 7 months or so.
Okay. Okay, and are you enjoying your trip to Denmark?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing here?
A lot of walking.
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
No, my feet are starting to kill me.
Okay, and Chris, tell me about yourself. Where do you live?
Where do I live? In Owatonna.
You live in Owatonna, and what do you do there?
I actually work in Rochester. I'm a nurse at St. Mary's Hospice.
Mm-hmm. And so you're involved in some physical therapy, or do you work with some of the injured patients?
Yep, spinal injury patients.
Okay, and you want to introduce me to your husband?
This is my husband, Kevin.
Okay, Kevin, and I understand you're high school sweethearts, huh?
Yep.
And tell me about what you're doing.
I'm an industrial engineer in Owatonna at the Wenger Corporation.
Oh yes, and where did both of you graduate from?
Owatonna Senior High School.
And you also were in college together?
Yep.
Okay. Interrupt you here, but tell us why we're going to Langland.
We're going to Langland to visit the birthplace of Johanna Henrietta Knudsen, which is my grandmother, and my grandmother's birthplace, Johanna Henrietta Knudsen, and also the birthplace of an uncle, Oscar. And on this trip, we're going to have a guide that Tom and I met in 1997. His name is Tom. And he has become a friend that I've kept in contact with. He actually arranged this trip for us, so we're very appreciative of him. It's a beautiful day, and everybody's going to have a great time.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to the trip, and we'll capture some of the scenes along the way. They're playing cards here. Looks like they're playing cards here.
Well, what are they playing?
Old Maid, sometimes Old Maid.
Looks like these folks are just visiting.
Looking at the sights.
I think you must be collecting, but it's not.
Peggy, tell me how you're related to the Anton, Ralphie, and Dortinus.
Anton was my grandfather.
So that would make Dortinus your great-grandfather?
That's correct.
Yes. And you live in Cato, Wisconsin, I understand.
Yes, we're at South Green Bay,
Yes.
very close to Lake Michigan.
Okay. And what are you doing over there?
I work in the county. I work for the county government, aging unit.
Okay, and okay, Peggy, tell me about your husband here.
This is my husband, Fred. He's a native of Manitowoc, Wisconsin, which is very close to Cato.
Nice to see you, friend. Tell me about what you're doing in Cato, Wisconsin.
I'm a self-employed technical writer and produce literature for operators manuals, service manuals for construction equipment.
And how are you folks enjoying your trip here to Denmark?
Oh, it's been great. Weather's been perfect. We've seen a lot of new things and really enjoyed it.
And Peggy, what is it that you hope to gain out of this experience?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the trip today back to leave farmland and the origins of our family.
Thank you very much. I'll see you later on in the trip.
Thank you, Hal.
Now we're going to be skipping by the Oscar Ralphie generation. There are no descendants of the Oscar Ralphie on this trip. His daughter, Melba Ralphie, is not able to travel, and we're making this record of our trip, and we'll be sharing that with her. Now I'd like to introduce you to Roger Ralphie. Roger is the son of Walter Ralphie, and how are you related to Dortinus then, Roger?
Grandson. We have a family reunion. We get to know each family, and I proposed it to Evie, and they thought it was a great idea. So with her help, considerable help, she organized the reunion here in Denmark for August 7th, 1999.
Okay, and tell me again how you're related to Dortinus.
Dortinus Ralphie was my grandfather.
Okay, and Walter Ralphie is your father, and
Valdemar is my father.
okay, and how many children in his family?
Valdemar?
Yes.
There's 6 boys and 1 daughter, of which I'm the youngest son, and daughter is the youngest child.
Okay, and tell us what are we going to expect tomorrow?
I'm going to expect a day of a great day. I mean, I've been planning this for about a year. It's hard for me to realize it's actually happening, and I am so thankful that it is happening. I'm thankful I'm here and everyone else from the family that could join us. And in the next one, we want 100% turnout.
We're planning to invite these folks to a reunion in the United States in the year 2001. And thank you for giving us a little insight, and we appreciate very much the effort you've made in organizing this trip.
You're all welcome.
Now I want to introduce you to Donald Ralphie, and he's also tied to the Dortinus Ralphie family. Don, tell us how you're related to him.
Walter is my father, and you're my brother, and that's about it.
And where do you live now?
I'm in Minneota, Minnesota.
Okay.
With my mother.
Yeah, tell us about your mother.
Well, she's in a nursing home over there, and she's 98 this year. One lives 100.
And essentially, she's the matriarch of the Ralphie family in the United States. Would you say that? She's the only one of the brothers' wives and the brothers that are still living.
Right.
And so we are going to take a tape recording of this trip back so that she and the other Ralphies in the United States can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing the last 30 years?
Well, I retired from the Air Force and been playing around ever since.
And why are you in Denmark?
Oh, I'm here to look for a nurse.
Okay, you got...
Read a map. Everybody knows that.
So, and have you found any yet?
Not yet.
Oh, well, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Look some more.
So, well, are you enjoying your trip here to Denmark?
Yeah, I love it.
It's been pretty nice, and we appreciate visiting with you.
Real good people to travel with.
Good. Another member of the Walter Ralphie family. This is Tom. He's sitting in the sunshine here, so I think he'll probably claim that the sun shines on him all the time, but we need to get a little acquainted. Tom, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, of course, I attract the sun all the time. Me and the sun get along very well.
Okay, and
I'm Thomas Daniel Ralphie, named after my grandfather, who was known as Dan rather than Dortinus. So I inherited his namesake, and
where are you living now?
anytime I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and
what have you been doing with your life here in the United States?
working. Now I'm retired and enjoying every minute of it.
And what have you been doing?
Traveling.
Oh, no, since you're retired, I know you're not doing anything, but what about when you were working?
I worked for Carlson Companies and trading stamp company for 20 years. Got involved in a cutback in payroll personnel, and then I went to work for the United States Post Office. Worked there for 10 years, retired from the post office in 1990. Enjoyed retirement since then.
Well, tell me a little bit about your wife Josie now.
I can't really say too much. That's my wife Josephine. You better look at the camera.
Hi Josephine. I call her Josie. That's better.
Right. That's better.
So Josie, tell me about your family.
My family, we have 3 children, Daniel, Craig, and Susan. And where Dan and Susan are married. Yep. Not really. But Susan lives in Marshall. She works for Swans. It's a big ice cream company. She has 2 children. Samantha and Jordan. Samantha is just turned 6 years old. She's going to start school, and she's a really big girl, she thinks.
Takes after her grandma?
Right.
I haven't got enough tape here for you to tell me everything about your grandchildren. So, but it's nice to see you.
And then Dan has a little boy named Seth. And he's also 6 years old and going to start school.
And then Greg?
And Greg is not married. He owns a home in Columbia Heights, and he works for North.
I'm Hal Ralphie, son of Walter Ralphie, and also a grandson of Dortinus. And I'm going to ask my sidekick here to ask me some questions.
Hal, would you like to tell us what you've been doing over the last period of time?
Well, I was raised on a farm in Redwood Falls. It was actually on the farm that my grandfather built after he came to Minnesota. And attended high school there and went to the University of Minnesota. I've been connected with agriculture in the University of Minnesota for about 40 years. And I'm now retired and I'm enjoying life.
And tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I have 4 boys, and they're all married, and 2 of them live in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area where I live, and 2 of them live in California. An opportunity to introduce my friend, Elaine Christensen, and Elaine is going to be assisting me in taking this pictures of our trip here so we can share it with our relatives back in the United States. But Elaine is my fiancée, and our families track back quite a number of years. We've been good friends for a long time, and we are both, Elaine is a widow and I'm a widower, and we're planning to start out our second life together. And Elaine, tell me a little.
Married, and the grandchildren are a joy. A couple of our children, your Kurt and my David, were roommates during college, so we have some track record over the years.
And tell me a little bit about what you've done over these years.
My training is as a home economist, and I was in agricultural extension work on a county level, and then went to the State 4-H Club office. And after being married, did a lot of consulting with Pillsbury until I finally joined their publication staff in 1984 and did 10 years of Pillsbury Classic Cookbooks.
Today, on August 6th, the U.S. Ralphie delegation was treated to a train ride through the countryside from Copenhagen to Nyborg on the island of Fyn. There we met Tom Hoiby, a relative of our grandmother, Johanna Knudsen, who arranged a bus tour to the island of Langland. We spent the day exploring our roots of the Dortinus and Johanna Ralphie family who lived there before emigrating to the United States in 1893. Here are a few highlights of this historic day. This is Tom, and Tom, what is your last name?
H-O-Y-B-Y-E.
And what is your connection to
My connection is my grandmother was Anna Knudsen.
Oh yes, and that's...
And most probably she was a cousin to the Knudsen who immigrated to the States.
And my grandmother Johanna would be related.
They have been cousins.
They would have been a cousin.
Yeah, have been a cousin.
And tell me, what are we going to see on this trip?
You're going to see the place where your grandmother's father died.
Fine.
And also where he was living, and the farm, the estate where he was working.
Fine, we're looking forward to the trip very much, and I'll visit with you a little bit more.
And also you will see the church, and you will see the place where he was buried, and the stone is still there.
Fine, we're looking forward to this trip very much. Thank you for arranging here. This is the house where Johanna, that is my grandmother, that is where her father died in 1916. By that time, Johanna had immigrated to the United States, and so we are not sure what communications or what connection she maintained with her father. Now this is the house where Johanna's father, this is Johanna's birthplace, and this is where her father lived when she was born here. And this is also the house where Oscar was born. And the part of the house has been removed. Some of you remember the picture that Roger has of the thatch roofed house. And this is the same house. The thatch roof has been removed, and part of the house on this end of the house has been removed. But it is a magnificent picture of our family heritage. There is no one living in this house at the present time. The people on the estate that own this house do rent it out during the summer. And so we're going to walk up and we're going to take a look inside and see what we can see. Look inside of this house, you'll see a very modern dining room table. You'll see a washer and a stove and a dryer. And it looks like a dishwasher inside the kitchen area. And it's just impressive to me that this is a place where Oscar was born and where Johanna was born back in the 1800s.
Documents before the family came to the United States in 1892, this was their last address. Now we know that Walter, Valdemar, and Anton were born in Copenhagen based on their birth certificate address. However, it's my assumption that prior to sailing to the U.S., they possibly lived in this house as well for a period of time. Because this was the parents of Johanna Henrietta, it makes sense that they came back to live with the parents.
Yeah. This is Tom and Roger. They're kind of the ones that are responsible for this visit out in this area.
I'm not sure. He may sue us later.
You know how much rent they get when they came to the U.S.?
This is the church where Oscar was baptized. It is also believed to be the church where our grandfather Dortinus and Johanna attended. And alongside of this church is a Lutheran school that we see here in the picture. And it is believed, since my father Walter was about 6 years old, that he may have gone to school briefly in this school here before emigrating to the United States. This is also, since Johanna's, our grandmother's father, died while living in this area, his gravestone is in the cemetery of this church, and we will be proceeding then to see that cemetery. But this is the original church that is very strongly connected to our family. Notice the marker on the steeple of this church indicates that it was probably built in 1830. This is another view of that church, and you'll notice some of our U.S. Ralphie delegation from the United States is meandering around in the church courtyard. Again, you can see the years 1830 and the inscription on the top of the tower here with a cross. Now we're entering the courtyard of this very unique and very beautiful church, and I'm taking a picture here of some of the gravestones in the cemetery just outside the front of this church entrance. And again, this is where Johanna Henrietta Knutson's father was buried, and probably Henrietta and Dortinus went to church here with their family, Walter and Oscar and Anton Ralphie. Now we're approaching the other side of this cemetery on the side of the church, and approaching the area where those people are standing over there, which is probably the site of the gravestone of Henrietta Knutson, father, and where he was buried.
Okay, this would be the grave of the great-great-grandparents, the parents of Johanna Henrietta Knutson, and there also apparently is a grave for a brother that passed away.
And we are very privileged as U.S. Ralphie delegation to visit this site and to ponder the heritage of our family.
Where the Knudsen grave was until it was cancelled. And just by coincidence, my father was buried here in May 1997.
But this was...
Thank you.
We were...
The reason for moving these headstones was to allow for extra space for burial at this cemetery. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it was cancelled. The grave was cancelled by the relatives.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by cancelled?
I mean the relatives gave it up.
Here in Denmark, that means you must pay every year to keep the grave to the city council.
Mm-hmm.
And normally we have 25 years before you cancel a grave. But you can keep it forever as long as you pay. You can keep it for hundreds of years as long as you pay. But after it was cancelled, they don't need the space, so they left the stones here after the cancellation, and the church was keeping the grave. But then, of course, when they need the space, they move the stones here. And it's again poor luck that the stones are still here, because it's common that the stones are destroyed after they are taken away from the grave.
Now we are inside of this very beautiful church, and it kind of humbles one to think that your ancestors attended church here and were a part of their devotion to the Lord. This is the organ that's located on the back of the church.
In every church you have a church.
How they get that grant?
This is a list of the ministers that have served this church since 1585. This is a final view of this very well kept and very beautiful cemetery in this Lutheran church here in the island of Langland. Taking a last minute view to carry this impression back to the United States. This is a truly humbling experience to view and to get a feeling and a sense of the legacy of our family in Denmark.
There's sit run right there, open. I just kind of quit opening because I think everybody.
This is Tom's mother. Tom, could you explain about your mother?
That's my mother.
Okay, and
She's 80 years old.
okay, and then you live
That's her
here.
farm.
This is her farm.
Yeah, she rent out the land.
Okay, and how long? And you lived here as a boy?
I was raised in Thornhill.
Oh.
And my mother lived here for many år. 58 years she has been here in this farm.
Oh my! And we thank you very much for this hospitality.
You're welcome.
This is Tom's mother. She has a greeting for Ruth.
Hello, Ruth.
Say hello, Ruth.
Thank you for that greeting, and we will carry that to our mother. And she is 97 years old.
She's 96 years old. Will
96.
be 97 in November. And still very active. Like you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
We're taking a break here, and we're having a drink of pop, compliments of Tom and his mother. And we are enjoying this very much. It's been a treasure to have Tom along and to guide us and to interpret us and to help us to understand the legacy of our family here in Denmark. Some landscape thistles that are in Tom's mother's yard, and this is to show you that we consider them weeds in the United States, but here they are just absolutely beautiful flowers, and you can see the bees are very active, making honey.
2 years ago.
2 år siden. For 2 år siden.
Ja, det er 2 år.
2 år siden, ja.
Okay. And we're from the Ralphie.
Have your mother move in.
De kommer fra, mor går lige ind ved siden af ham.
And I'm going to direct my words to my mother,
Han snakker til sin mor nu, så hun kan se det, når de kommer hjem.
who is back home.
Hun er hjemme.
She is 96 years old.
Hun er 96.
And still very alert. She tells me that she's going to live to be 100.
Ja, 96 år. Hun bliver 100 år,
That's the
siger.
next time we can celebrate her birthday. So I'd like you, Anna, and you, can you just say happy birthday to Ruth?
Du skal bare sige happy birthday til Ruth.
Hvad skal jeg sige?
God fødselsdag.
Hvad er det så?
Det er tillykke med fødselsdag.
Har fødselsdag?
Nej, det er moren.
Nå, moren. Hvad skal jeg så sige?
Ja.
Hvordan skal jeg sige det?
Hvad? Happy birthday.
Happy fødselsdag.
Ja, det er godt.
Very good. Excellent. You can come to our country now. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
We are in the town of Hopla at the Dansk Karoferi in the town of Humble. This is the Humble Hotel. And next to this building they have a hamburger joint something like we have in many places in the United States. And this group really gets hungry. We're stopping here at a small village to get something to eat, and we're getting a hamburger, and it's costing us 28 krona a piece, which is about $4. We're now in the town of Nyberg in the island of Finn, and we are visiting this castle in this community. This is a town where Tom resides, and we'll show a picture of him hosting us at his house in a little bit. But now we're going to go up and visit this castle. Now I'm just taking a casual picture next to this castle. Seems more interesting to capture a little flavor of what life may be like in this small town. It seems to be a summer home across this very quiet little lake, and it looks like it would be a very nice place to be on a sunny Sunday afternoon, just kicking back and enjoying the sunshine. This is a continuation from the edge of that lake to a scene across this flowered bridge and looking into a downtown area of this town. It is very, very quaint. Landman's Cafe for music and dance. Unfortunately, we don't have time. This is part of the moat system that protects the castle from the surrounding area. And there's the moat, and there is the castle once more. Very majestic, overlooking this nice little town.
Go back and say that the women are drinking and then...
We're in the courtyard of Tom, our host here today. And Tom, I'll ask your wife to stand up and then introduce her to me so that I can come in close and tell me a little bit about your wife.
No, it's better she explains herself.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
And what is your last name again?
My name is Højby. I'm married to Tom. My first name is Hanne.
Hannah.
And then I have in between name Linde. Hanne Linde Højby.
Oh,
I've been living here 30 years with Tom.
Tom has told me that he has done business all over the world. Did you travel with him?
No, I didn't. I took care of the menagerie here.
Oh,
and the kids. And
what?
My work.
Oh yes.
Took care of the circus.
and tell me about your children and your family.
I have two children. They are 25 and 27. And my oldest daughter have a little grandchild called Morten, lovely little kid on 2 years. And I have a daughter of 25. She's called Anna. She's studying in Copenhagen, but actually just now she's in Tanzania having holidays with her boyfriend.
Well, that's very nice.
She comes here in between to see us. Not very often. When she isn't lack of money, she goes comes to see her parents. Yeah.
We thank you.
Ordinary things to say.
We thank you so much for inviting us into your home and your courtyard here, so that we can rest and relax.
Thank you for coming.
And I just took a little walk around through Nyberg, up by the castle, and a couple of shots of the streets and some of the business community over there. And what can you tell me about this town, this immediate area?
This area?
Yeah.
It's a very old area. It was a Danehof area. The first meeting between the, what do you call it, where there was a king here, and he made I think he made a constitution. They met here every 4th year to make the laws in Denmark about 900 years ago. So this place is sort of full of history.
It's full of history. I noticed the castle up there.
Before that there were the Vikings, and before that we had the Stone Age. So people have been living here for thousands
of years. And I see the castle with the with the moat, is that actually was for protection around the castle?
This moat was around the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually running just in front of our house. Before the moat, we had the sea just out there in the Viking times. And then they built them out, and in the 1660, I think it was finished. And then it was torn down in about 1860 because the town was getting too small, too crowded inside. They had to go outside. So they put all the earth down in the sea and make the city bigger that way. So now we have to walk 5 minutes to get to the sea.
Now we walked across the Flower Bridge over there down into that.
That's a beautiful place.
Is that in Nyberg also?
That is here too.
Is that the main street of Nyberg? Or?
Yeah, that is. You mean the little flower bridge to go to the castle?
Yes, well, we left the castle and we went across the Flower Bridge.
Then you go to the main hall.
Okay, yes, I saw the main hall.
Yeah, that's the main hall. And then when you go further on, you go to the in-between of the city. And then the middle of the city has been burned down about 200 years ago.
Tom, what are you doing here?
I say in Denmark you can drink beer when you're 16, even when you're 14. But you cannot drive a car before you're 18. But this is an export beer, it's a very strong beer.
Oh,
so you have a good taste for life.
I would like to see, let's have a taste.
5.8, yeah, that is.
How is it?
Good.
Good. We have had this a family day arranged by Roger Ralphie and his relative here in Denmark. And so we're going to just move in and we're going to ask him a couple of questions about this. Roger, we're really interested in having you tell us just a little bit about what this day is going to mean.
Well, to me it means it's a climax to a year of preparation. I started this genealogy work 5 years ago, and inside I'm feeling a lot of emotion.
Well, I would think so. This is a historic day. We're going to meet an awful lot of people here today.
Right. It's rare when you can tie a family together as we're doing here today. And thanks to Evie and all her help, and it's outstanding.
But tell us about Evie. Who is Evie?
Evie is the wife of Kevin, who is a grandson to our grandfather's. I'm mixed up now. Anyway,
it's Evie and Previn.
Evie and Previn, and Previn is Previn's grandfather, and our grandfather were brothers.
Yes, and so our grandfather Dortinus had how many brothers?
7 brothers.
7 brothers, and we're going to meet descendants of these brothers here today.
Right, and
at a picnic.
I don't know if all 7 are here, descendants of all 7 or not, but we'll find that out.
Yeah, and so we're going to go inside this park, and where's this being held?
This is Frederiksborg Park. It's here they call it gardens. Frederiksborg is a huge castle. It's placed in the center of the park, and this park consists of many different smaller parks. Here they call it, as I said before, they call them gardens rather than parks. And by the flower arrangements here, you can tell that you will see a lot of beautiful flower arrangements, well-groomed grounds, and a beautiful sunny day.
Well, this is certainly a very historic day, and we need to get in with the festivities, so we'll close this off. I'm entering the park area, where there are many of the Ralphie relatives gathered, and everybody is greeting everybody. And we're just going to walk down through the area here, and most of the people that you see and members of the Ralphie family. This is one of the sons of one of the descendants of the family. We'll step over here and we'll talk to you. And would you tell me what your name is again?
My name is Fleming.
Fleming? And you are a Ralphie?
Yeah. Peyton's brother.
Peyton's brother?
Peyton's brother.
And he is a son of grandson?
Grandson of
But it's your grandson and his grandfather is brother of Dortinus.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That is correct. Okay, well, we'll talk to you later. We're just going to move down here and...
So they don't say anything here, but she has
It's a lot of trade.
Inden vi ser det, kan du ikke betale for far og mig, når du betaler? Det er nemmere for hende.
Hi. And who are we talking to, Tom?
My name is Tanya.
Tanya, and what?
Tanya, and I am related to Johan, I think. I'm not sure right now.
Well, I'm not sure either. I'm just taking a...
But my name is Rodi.
It is Rodi, huh?
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, we're one of the things we want to find out is how you pronounce that here. You pronounce it Rodi?
In Danish, Rodi.
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 Yes. We pronounce it
Down here in the throat.
yeah.
But I can't say
pronounce it again.
In Danish?
Pronounce the name again.
Tanya.
No, pronounce the Ralphie name again, please.
Rodi.